Time's running out to take advantage of the federal tax credit for home renos and to take advantage of so-called green rebates here in this great nation of ours. To help us understand all of this, we're joined by Bobby Assadourian. He's the president of Triple R Inc. in Stony Creek and the voice of Talk 820's Just Ask Bob. Hi, Bob.
How are you, Jason?
Great. Thanks for being here.
Well, thank you for having me.
Exactly what are these deductions and these rebates, and how much time do we have, Bobby Assadourian, to take advantage of?
Well, let's start with the home renovation tax credit. The government really hasn't given us a long leash on this, and I like to dub it as the most misunderstood tax credit / refund. This expires February 1st, 2010. Now, again, that does seem like it gives us a little bit of time, but very important. People have to understand for exterior improvements, which are important now with the winter up and coming, for exterior improvements, you really only have a number of weeks left because obviously of the weather and how busy contractors are. Now, the reason I call it the most misunderstood home tax credit is because, in effect, it is a tax credit. I can't tell you how many calls and emails I receive at the office, people equating it to a $1,350 refund. Every email or question starts off, how much am I getting back in the refund?
Yeah.
Well, it's not a refund, it's a percentage. Now, below $1,000 isn't eligible. It has to be over $1,000. And again, I believe, don't quote me here, I may be off by a bit, but I believe just under $12,000. And then there's a mathematical equation to determine or assess what percentage you'll get back, or actually how the formula will be equated to the tax credit. So again, it's really important. There's a lot of requirements. I mean, this has to be done by a contractor, again, a real legitimate contractor, and they have to have a GST number. So misconception number 2 is homeowners believe that they can use their family members or they can equate their own labor. Now, the government put a quick stop to that. Again, if it's windows or doors or whatnot, there has to be a licensed contractor. You can't have a dance instructor coming in and doing some windows, doors, or hardwood for you. That just won't cut it. The other problem is another big question that arrives all the time. Homeowners ask, can we go buy a couple of windows, pay our brother-in-law some money, come up with a nice big healthy bill and you submit that for the home renovation tax credit? Again, the answer is no. You have to be dealing at an arm's length with the individual you're hiring. Mm-hmm. Now, if your brother-in-law, fine. If he's licensed, he's a real business with a GST number, that's fine. But the big thing and final thing people seem to really, really miss is that they can do the work themselves. There's never been a better year. Buy shelving for the garage, buy closet organizers, buy paint for every room in your home. All of these items that you buy at the local big box stores or wherever you're picking it up, these items count towards the home renovation tax credit.
Yeah, keep the bills. Keep the receipts.
Bills.
Even if you don't use the paint for the next 3 years,
Exactly.
You bought it in this year.
Buy in excess, primer 2, rollers, paintbrushes, drop cloths, drop sheets. It doesn't matter.
Bob, what does this mean to the home contracting industry? It must have had a fairly decent year given the economic turmoil.
Yes.
That was the whole idea, right?
Well, to spur the economy. I mean,
yeah.
Twofold. One, of course, people are losing their jobs. Contractors are going out of business. Keep them employed and also get the homeowner to spend at the big box stores, stimulate the economy from the homeowner spending. Again, maybe they don't think that's the best part, but from the homeowner spending, that's where the cycle begins. And then you've got the big box stores. Their sales are increasing. Contractors are spending. It's a stimulus.
Okay. Now, the tax credit, is that going to be extended?
Good question. Now, again, with respect, I don't work for the Canada Revenue Agency, but I can tell you one article that I read, and I believe I was discussing it earlier with your producer. It was Rona. Rona has petitioned, or they've sent a letter, or somehow petitioned the government at the appropriate level to extend this. I believe, I've got a sneaking little feeling that it may extend. Because again, like I said originally, they really didn't give us, they gave us a short leash, not a long leash on it. I believe they may extend it. If enough people write in, if enough people complain, run up the lines, get on the line with government, email them, phone them, tell them we want this to continue. But again, it's in the government's hands. As far as it stands now, February 1st, 2010, done. Still
with taxes here in the province, the HST appears to be coming. What will that do to your industry?
Well, again, a very good question. I can tell you from what I've read and from what I understand, okay, let's put it this, me as a business, it's going to be excellent. But there's a sad note to that. I believe business, whether big, small, or large, they're going to benefit greatly from it. But how greedy is the business going to be? You see, as it stands now, the GST, I don't charge my homeowners GST. Now, I'm charging them GST on the work order, but GST that it costs me to buy the lumber, the tile, the adhesive, the material, I'm deducting that from the cost. So again, I'm passing that savings along to the homeowner. Now, with the PST being exempt as well, contractors, trade professionals, businesses, whoever it is, they can either choose to be greedy, not lower their costs, understanding and complying that they're not absorbing the cost of the PST, lower it so that the end user, the homeowner, saves, or as a lot of people in the media and newspapers have said that in other areas where this has been tested or used, these companies, contractors, businesses, they're being greedy and they're not passing the savings down to the end user, the consumer, the homeowner. So it's going to be interesting.
Bobby Assadourian, let me give you a hypothetical. Let's say the Farr family has a 22-year-old furnace, but didn't get the home audit, and maybe we're thinking call Shipton's soon and take advantage here. You don't get the rebate unless you get the home audit, right?
Yes, very, very important. You have to find, the first step is find a home auditor. Now, again, my number should be, or my contact information will be up on the screen shortly. My company, me personally, I've signed an affiliate partnership program with a large auditing company. So again, the first thing I will do is put the homeowner in touch with the auditor. They have to come down. The audit has to be conducted because, again, this is very, very important. What they're going to do is they're going to assess your home bottom to top, attic to roof, and they're going to tell you in writing where you're leaking, where you're losing, where the 75...
The audit first, then you get the work done, and then you get the rebates. What if the 22-year-old furnace is working just fine?
Well, again, it's your choice, though.
Again, this is hypothetical.
Oh, no. Again, hypothetically, it's your choice. Let's assume now, hypothetically, they've come to your home. The audit has concluded that there are 17 locations or 17 areas in your home that can use improvement. You don't have to choose all 17. If one of them is the furnace, if it's that old, I would suggest do it because, by the way, on a side note, if we're looking at now, how much you getting back in the rebate?
Right.
The biggest chunk of the rebate will go towards the furnace because that's the biggest ticket item.
Bob,
but again, let's say you're in love with it, you love it, you've cozied up to it.
Let's say the neighbor has one that's 50 years old and still working fine, right? Why go out and buy or replace something when it doesn't need replacing?
Why fix it if it's broken? I'll tell you why. Efficiency. Any furnace over 10 or 15 years old, it's humming, it's working. You know what? Those are some of the best ones for to not break down.
Bob, I don't want to cut. We only have about a minute and a half. I want to get to your cause. We would be remiss not to bring it up.
Yes.
You have made it quite known to the greater Hamilton area. You're not quite into the rogue developers.
Yes, very much so. Hamilton Spectator did a phenomenal story October 3rd. Home Rental Bible.
Well, hell, you wrote a book.
Well, yes, they did the story on the book. I encourage everybody, please join us Sunday, December the 6th, Eastgate Square, Cole's Bookstore. Come visit me for my book signing. It's my second book signing between 12 and 4 p.m. You can come by and you can look at the book yourself, a contractor you can bring home to mom.
Yeah, it's something. Why is this such a thing for you?
Well, I'm passionate about it. Let me tell you a story as briefly as I can. A few weeks ago, a customer of mine called. She was over 70 years old, very upset. People had been knocking in the neighborhood where she lives, and I guess they canvassed the area. They find out elderly people live there. They knocked at her door, and boy, oh boy, as I said on my radio show, they picked the wrong home to knock on. They were condemning her chimney. They were telling her the smoke coming out of the chimney is equating to heating loss. Now, for one thing, what a farce. That's just exhaust from her furnace. They told her the chimney should be rebuilt or tended to. Now, I did this chimney. I'd repaired this chimney a year ago. Now, when she called, she explained again that they gave her some kind of sum they wanted in cash. She told them she didn't have money. They encouraged her to go to the bank machine. I told her, lock your door. We're on our way. I called the police immediately. They thought it was a joke. I told them I was just Ask Bob of the radio show. I was a contractor. I arrived with 2 police cruisers. They nailed him. They pinned him down about 2 blocks away. The officer asked me to climb the roof, and I told him, it's a free estimate, officer. I hopped up that roof real quickly. I looked at the chimney. There was nothing wrong with it.
That's like a call to action show there, just Ask Bob.
These fraudsters, these con artists, these flim-flam artists, they're the whole industry practically.
Well, keep it up, Bob.
Thank you.
We'll keep tuning in. When's Just Ask Bob on the Talk?
This Thursday, Hamilton's all new talk station, 8:20 a.m. Listen to us 12:30 to 1 p.m.